I'm going to show you now working with stencils and acrylic paint. Now this is a stencil, obviously it's got some great holes on it. It came from a bulb container I got. So there's several ways to do it. You can use this kind of a stencil brush. You can use a cheap roller. You can always use an expensive roller or a stiffed bristle brush. All right. So in my container here, I have some Viridian and I put a little medium in it just so maybe it wasn't as pasty. Just mixing it up. And I'm going to use this for the roller. Now rollers take a lot of paint, but I'm going to load my roller, sort of see how much it just sucked up, and I didn't want anything to be stronger than anything else. Then what you do is just hold your stencil down. You can tape it down. Just hold it down. You can put weights on it. Got okay coverage. And the mixture I made was not too liquidy, so it didn't go too much under. It went a little under here. There's a commercial stencil. I can put that right over that, and then maybe I can use this large stencil brush, and I've got some cadmium yellow medium here, and then just go ahead and apply it with the stencil brush. Kind of nice when you have overlapping designs. Kind of makes it a little more interesting. And I'm putting on so little that it could dry pretty rapidly. Of course, this is not a heavy body paint. It's not what's called an open paint, which means there's more of a retarder in it. All right, so that's applying the yellow. I could go in then. Oops, this got into the red. This is quinacridone crimson. And I could overlap that there. I could, of course, do the whole thing. I just want you to get the sense of, how you might do a stencil. There it is. Nice variegated stencil. So in terms of stencils, this is one that I cut years ago out of some heavy plastic. You can buy stencils, but you can also make them out of cardboard. Here's one that was, the top of a chocolate container. Here's, you can use hearts, doilies. I'd love to try this one sometime. This is from a pie I ordered. It came in a container and it was going to hold that pie nice and firm. Here's another stencil. There's endless commercial stencils that you can buy and try or cut on your own. Here's another stencil I cut myself. And here's just another thing I found. You can find all kinds of things that could be used. Need a little more paint. Let's grab this. There you go. Maybe this can help you. I wanted to show you how you could use the hug bristle brush style to work with the stencil. I have no idea what this is. I found it. I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. But it can make a great stencil. So I'm just going to put mostly the tip on my brush. So this is if you do not have a stencil brush. Turn your brush into a stencil. So you can tell by the way I'm putting this material on that it is quite pasty, the paint. Again, you don't want it liquidy, as it will come up. I think I'll go a little bit over so I can get that out, nice outer edge. There it is, nice, crisp, beautiful stencil. This is yet another commercial stencil. At one point in time, I find this at a garage sale or something. These were commercial stencils because people were doing this in their house. Now I'm just going to put the quinacridone. It's a littler stencil, so I really have to use my fingers to hold it tight down. But my paint is nice and stiff. You'd almost think it was beginning to dry out. You see how tacky it is, it's picking up. So I'm just going to try and not move my stencil as I move down. What if I decide to put a little yellow on top, here and there? Anyway, so there's that commercial stencil. It works pretty well because it's a stiff material. You can also acquire sets of letters. You want to write things onto your, let's see, what have we got here? Just a little bit of the yellow and a little bit of the red. We can get a nice end there. I'll just pick it up. There we go. So again, stencils, just probably using something you might have. You could even use a stiff cellulose sponge to do this, as long as you didn't wet the sponge too much and it's not too runny. Pasty is best when doing these.